I had a client, we created a 45-second video. Pinterest loves video, and we pinned it to her calendar link. Now, she's in a cool space. She's in the early childhood education space. Her programs are $25,000 a piece, and she booked 2 calls that day. And so she sold two, right? Two back-to-back $25,000 programs from a 45-second video that we pinned.
And the topic is Pinterest affiliate marketing for beginners, a step-by-step tutorial. Look at that. Look at that. And that is not me teaching. I am not the Pinterest guru, that's for sure. But I am bringing on the Pinterest guru, and she actually handles our Pinterest marketing. She's just absolutely amazing. One of my favorite people, so good at what she does, and just a mighty woman of God. And I think you're going to really enjoy this. I did something similar with her. It's been a while, many months ago, and I'm just glad to have her back, and we're going to rock and roll. So please help me welcome Miss Kim Ward. Kim, how are you?
Good morning. I'm so grateful to be here with you, Ray.
Yay. Awesome. Kim, you've been on Pinterest for a while. You've discovered some things I think most people don't understand about Pinterest. And so I think maybe start with, one, why Pinterest?
Pinterest there's so many misconceptions out there that it's this place for hair and skin and nails and decor, and it's great for those things, but that's not all.
Like
So
bachelorette parties.
for sure, yeah, do it up, get the mood boards going. But, Pinterest is, as you know, Ray, it's such a powerful place to generate passive leads, to drive traffic to your ecosystem, whatever your business assets are. And we'll talk more about that because it's a search engine. It's not a social media platform. So on average, your pin has a lifespan of 4 months. You can be bad and still be good.
What do you mean by that? You mean if you're not consistent, or what do you mean by that?
Some marketers feel that they are poor in their copywriting skills or, connecting with their audience. And the cool thing about Pinterest is we talk to our audience in terms of keywords. So when people search using keywords, right, think about yourself in the consumer mindset. We're on the phone. We're either speaking to our trusted assistant, I'm not going to summons her, or we're frantically typing with our thumbs. Most people will misspell a word, or if we're looking for how to put out a fire before wife gets home, we're going to look for that in different ways. We reverse words. It's almost like English to Spanish. The words are in different places. It doesn't feel right, especially to the ego. For those of us who are educated and want to feel like, we're the professional. I'll give you a good example. One of my clients, Jo, out of Australia, she came to me and said, "Do you think Pinterest would work for my business?" And I said, "I don't care what your business is. There is a place for it on the Pinterest platform." And she sells hemp oil for dogs. And so we brought her over to Pinterest. And one of the biggest concerns with her product and her service is separation anxiety in these dogs. And the average search spelled separation completely wrong. They botched it. But when we did our market research, we saw definitively that the misspelled word was way up here and the correct spelling was way down here. So this may have had 80,000 monthly searches, whereas the correct spelling may have had 5,000 monthly searches. And I
Wow.
looked at her, you have a choice to make. You can let go of the educated, egotistical version of ourselves and misspell your content, your keywords, your pins to meet people where they're at, or you can look good and not impact. And in her very first 5 months on Pinterest, she did over $25,000 in sales by misspelling the words just because she met people where they were at.
Do you feel it works for brick and mortar?
What a great question. I love that. The answer is yes, it does. I work with a lot of realtors, bakers, mechanics, everything in between, because we can focus on your geographic keywords, your local keywords. For example, when Ray had his event last fall, I know it's not brick and mortar, but we wanted to really give the event a healthy promotion. So we focused local keywords like Orlando, Florida,
Right.
business speaking, that kind of thing. So absolutely.
Most people on here have the thing they sell, right? The service, the product, the opportunity, whatever. And so Like, how would one start on Pinterest? How would someone go? They're probably updating Facebook, maybe Instagram. How would they go from what they're currently doing to including Pinterest?
Yeah. So, I mean, the obvious first step is to make sure that you do have a Pinterest account. So, you would want a business account for obvious reasons. But if it's not obvious, the reasons are number one, you're going to get better analytics, better metrics. And those are very important to us because we can't grow a business based on our emotion. Business is grown based on data. And if we're not looking at the metrics or the analytics to ask ourselves two very important questions. Number one, what's working? And number two, what's not working? If we don't know how to answer those, we're shooting in the dark. So you want a business account first and foremost, and you can sign up for free at business.pinterest.com. Do that first and foremost. Second thing is you want to create your profile in a way, just like I showed with Joe, my example. What kind of keywords is your audience looking for? Now, a lot of times, I think you'd agree with this, Ray, we think we know, but it's when
Right.
we get into the research that we find, wow, we're just slightly off from what they're looking for. So, one of the things that I recommend is go to Google. Just go to google.com, type in whatever it is that you do. And when you're doing your keyword research, less is more. So, what I'm saying is if you help in the weight loss or inflammation or anti aging, whatever it is that you do, just type one or two words into Google. Google is going to give you what they call predictive text. And it's going to show you keywords verbatim of what your ideal humans are searching for within that search engine.
Right.
Well, if you click on one of those keywords, you're going to see a section on Google that says people also ask. This is free data that a lot of people don't know it's there or they don't know how to use it or we don't know what we don't know. So when we're flinging through Google and we're just like, "Oh, we don't know what that is," so we go buy it. That's gold as a marketer because it's a free way of knowing what your ideal clients, customers, and potential team members are searching for. So you would take those words and use it against them, but for their benefit. And that's how you start to build your Pinterest profile. So if we look at, Ray's Pinterest, it's not just Ray Higdon. His name is Ray Higdon. I forget what we have on yours, but it may be like sales mentorship or sales
Sure.
leadership, or it'll be something of what his people are searching for. And same with me. And that's how we kind of start to build that foundation.
Yeah, very cool. I know that, you can see results long term. I know that like there's things that you posted. I think you've shared with me that use things you posted years ago that still get results, which is, unique because that just doesn't happen on Facebook or Instagram, usually at least. But how dedicated do you need to be to it in the beginning to see any results?
Yeah. I will honestly say this is probably the most frustrating part for a lot of people. And it's because we're so thirsty for instant gratification. We really are. This is not the place for that. So, what I want you to know is that once you start to pin, every single pin you create, it does take 90 days to rank and index and breathe and learn in the algorithm. The good thing is the way that the Pinterest algorithm is designed is a way where it's only going to be shown, your content will only be shown by people who are already searching for that type of content. There's no FYP page where you're going to discover new brands or it's how you're searching, that's what you're going to see. So for you as the consumer, that's fun. But as the marketer, it's more fun because you can rest assured your content is going to land in front of the right people all the time. But just know it does take 90 days to rank an index. So after 90 days of consistent pinning, consistency, what does that mean to you? Twice a week, three times a week? I recommend once a day at minimum. And there's ways to do that without losing your sanity or making it feel like, oh, I have one more thing to do, right?
Right.
You've got a lot of assets out there. So you mentioned Instagram a little bit ago. We now can integrate our Instagram accounts directly to
Mm.
Pinterest. So every single thing that you post outside of your stories, whether it's a reel or a static post on Instagram, it'll automatically pull over into your Pinterest account.
So that's that. I mean, that's just a no brainer. Like
Yep.
if you're updating Instagram, you might as well flip that switch. And I mean, that would be silly not to. But there's two ways to look at the whole 90-day thing, right? The amateur, the struggler is going to say 90 days, forget. Well, 90 days, just look 90 days ago. Have you been getting a whole bunch of results the last 90 days? A lot of people haven't, right? And so 90 days goes by like that. It's going to pass anyway. And so like think differently about that. And the other thing is I think I heard it first from Grant Cardone. He said, do what your competition won't. What can you do that your competition won't do? And I mean, heck, you just be consistent and you're going to blow away 90% of the people that are attempting to compete with you. And so like you should look at, oh, this is a little hard. So that means fewer people are doing it. Like that's a very different mindset, but that's the right mindset. You know what? This is really hard. It's just like look at Elon. Look at all the things that he's done. He went after, SpaceX. Like not a lot of competition there. Why? Because it's hard and expensive. Went after electric cars, all kinds of different things. So you have to have a different mindset instead of just always looking for, what's the easiest, fastest, slickest way, which everyone does, which everyone attempts. Like think more long term. And I'll tell you, like the way that I'm wired, I sometimes wonder if I think too much long term, but it's given me income streams that have lasted years. I mean, I haven't promoted AWeber. I haven't promoted AWeber in gotta be 10 years. I still get a check every month. And I have all these different affiliate, and some are in the hundreds, some are in the thousands that, it's just, I'm just very consistent, thought long term. And these checks just, they keep coming in. And so, don't always look for the fast, easy, slick way that everyone does. I think Pinterest is a great example of that and how simple it is if you just integrate your Instagram. I mean, that's just crazy.
I love that. And what a great testament to growing that digital ecosystem. And I feel truthfully, this is what Pinterest offers. We don't need to look at Pinterest like an ATM machine. It's not. It's a great place to connect with. There's over 570 monthly million active users over there. This is
570 million active
monthly.
monthly users. That's
Yep.
a lot.
And active, that's the operative word. They have to log into their account. They have to be doing
Wow.
something to show activity.
That's not just searchers. You're saying people logging in. Wow,
Correct.
that's amazing.
It's
Wow.
it's awesome. And so, Instagram is one fraction of what we're capable of doing. YouTube. If you're over on YouTube, you've got your YouTube videos over there. You'll notice there's a share button on your public videos and your shorts. I bet most people, I don't bet, I know, I've trained thousands and thousands of people around the globe for years on Pinterest, and they don't search far enough to find that Pinterest logo, that Pinterest icon on the YouTube channels. So when you share your YouTube videos over to Pinterest, now you're tapping into that arena. And if they click that pin, it drives them right back to your YouTube channel. So we could go to your YouTube studio and see definitively what percentage of your YouTube audience is coming from Pinterest. I know mine right now is 1.6%. So a little less than 2% of my YouTube growth and views is coming from Pinterest. So this is a great place for you to grow that ecosystem through generating leads, through traffic. So think of your lead magnets, your blogs, your websites, yes, even your calendar link. I had a client, we created a 45-second video. Pinterest loves video, and we pinned it to her calendar link. Now, she's in a cool space. She's in the early childhood education space. Her programs are $25,000 a piece. And she booked 2 calls that day. And we know the best time to make a sale is right after making a sale. And so she sold 2, right? 2 back-to-back $25,000 programs from a 45-second video that we pinned to Zoom. She didn't have to have some big 3-day production or do a huge, event. It was a Zoom because she was speaking to her audience about what they needed. And she knew how to do that through some keyword research.
That's amazing. Wow. That's amazing. Very cool. Okay. So let me get this straight. So it's sign up business.pinterest.com. Is that okay? So you sign up for business.pinterest.com. You integrate your Instagram into it. Now, when you share to Instagram, are you putting keywords or anything? Or like, how does that work? Or should you put the keywords in the Instagram? Like, how does that work?
Good question. Instagram loves keywords. If you don't know that, you do now. It's very keyword rich as well because it's also ranking you on Google. So we want to always think about keyword richness and longevity. That's what this is all about. And so when that Instagram content drops into Pinterest, I've seen accounts have like so much growth, explosive growth without doing anything other than connecting Instagram. Now, bonus points. This is getting a little bit deeper, but it's okay. We'll survive. You can
Mhm.
have what's called a secret board on Pinterest, which means it's locked to the public, but you can see it and only you alone. Some people who are a little more savvy on the Pinterest side will have their Instagram content pull into a locked board on Pinterest. That way they can go in and edit each pin individually to make it much more keyword rich. Once it's to their satisfaction, they release it to a public board so that it is optimized, but it still points back to Instagram.
I mean, so I just want to point out, I'm sure there'll be lazies that just, like, just throw it over there. And hey, that's better than not. Like, go for it. Like, if you're looking for how do I not get maximum results, but how do I do it the easiest way? Like, at least do that. Like, why wouldn't you? It'd be crazy not to. But how much smarter? So I'll give you an example. So I think you know this, but there's a company right now that I pretty much am running their marketing. And every morning I go and I generate two, what do you call them? I call them tweets still, but it's not Twitter, it's X, right? So I generate two posts for X around a particular topic, and I usually drop the one, schedule the other, and then I create a longer post for Facebook around the same topic. And so because, these different platforms, they like different things, right?
Mhm.
So Twitter or X is, shorter. Facebook, we do really well with long form. In fact, I think it was 2 days ago on one long form, we got 4,400 likes and 2,200 shares without a dime spent.
Wow.
Pretty cool. And so these platforms, Instagram likes it a certain way, X likes it a certain way, Facebook likes it, and Pinterest likes a certain way. And so I think that's really brilliant to have that holding board to just make any little tweak, because any little tweak adds up. And so I think that's really smart. But again, if you're like, I don't need more to do, Ray, well, then at least sign up for it and connect them, because why not? So just want to point that out.
For sure. Yeah, I'm all about the strategy. With one piece of content, and this may blow some minds. I mean, if we have one blog article or one lead magnet, we should be looking at each month. Now, if we know that the system takes 90 days to index our pins, this conversation today is happening in August. So if we pin something today, September, October, November, it's not going to rank until November. What would happen if we put some seasonality behind the aesthetic of our pin or our video, or we infused some seasonal keywords for November, right? Thanksgiving, we've got all kinds of things going on. So then when the clock strikes September, we take that same content, that same piece, that asset, and now we make it so that it's December-ish. We've got
Yeah.
Christmas, we've got winter, we've got snow.
Smart.
I do this all year round with
Smart.
same content because what happens if it is evergreen, meaning it doesn't have an expiration date, right? It's good all the time. What happens next year at this time, as long as this earth is in rotation and there's humans on it, we are always going to have problems that you can solve. So the problems
Yeah.
don't go away from year to year. So your content that you pinned this year will repopulate next year.
Mm,
And you talked about
nice.
longevity. That's how my friend Nadine, 2025 made 15 years. Every single month, we track her metrics like crazy people. And she has between 300 and 500 people coming to her website. And she makes monthly sales from a pin that she created 15 years ago. And this
Mm.
is
Wow, that's amazing. I know that you have, like, I think you call it a playbook. You have you've given us some, basic stuff for people to get started and integrate it and everything. But you have like an actual 2025 based on everything that you've learned playbook. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
This is a monster of a PDF. This is a 16-page playbook. And I call it a playbook because if we look at sports, if we look at a good, team, not going to say which ones,
Are you a
they
Chiefs
were
fan,
top.
or why did I
Chiefs.
know that? Why did I know that? I felt it in my bones.
Yes.
I'm like, what's happening?
I'm like, are we friends or enemies here?
Because you live in Tennessee, but for some reason I had a feeling she's a Chiefs fan.
Oh my gosh. So
I just
they
want to point out the Colts only team that Mahomes has not beaten. Just saying.
I knew you were calling me. I knew it.
That's our only bragging right
Oh,
around
I
the
love it.
Chiefs. Of course, they have Super Bowls
Oh,
and we haven't in a while.
I love it. It's going to be a fun season this year. So they look at strategy. They look at not just the opposition, right? But they look at themselves. What are we doing right? What can we improve? Those are two questions that are universal, whether you're in business, marketing, sports, it doesn't matter. So this playbook, it was literally everything that I could put down from A to Z that would help you look at the bigger picture, understand step by step what to do in order to be effective so that you don't feel like you're just spinning your wheels because it is one more thing. But I have story after story. I mean, my husband and I generate so many leads from Pinterest. We were able to write our Pinterest account into our will because this is going to my
Wow,
daughter.
that's cool. That's cool. That's amazing. And so if you're on here and you'd like to check out her playbook, you can. It's at higdengroup.com/Kim Playbook. And I've worked very closely with Kim for how many years now?
Oh boy, I don't know.
Kim was on our original Play to Win reality show. We've just been friends ever since, and I've seen her just explode and blossom. She's in our Faith and Finance Mastermind. She is a key player with us in Brilliant Plus. We do so many cool things together. And so I can just tell you, if you're wondering, hey, does she know her stuff or not? I can tell you she absolutely does. And so if you want to check out her playbook, higdengroup.com/Kim Playbook. And any last words of encouragement for someone that, wants to increase their sales and influence and impact, and they're considering Pinterest?
I have to say this. I always say this, but it's true. And the moment that you entered your mother's womb, you were designed to be the exact puzzle piece that this world needed. That's a fact. You were made perfectly and for such a time as this. And I can tell you the scars, the wounds, the battle, everything that you have, your personality, your strengths, your weaknesses, that's all a recipe to be the answer to someone else's prayer. And when we choose, it is a choice. When we choose not to show up, we are robbing them from only a transformation that you can help them have. So this is just another way to help you get exposure, find the right people. I cannot tell you how many times I've had someone reach out to me and say, you are not on my radar, but you are an answer to my prayer. And that's because
Wow.
I'm not afraid to be seen. I hope this was valuable.
I love that. I don't know what you call this. It's a painting, graphic, I don't know, but on my wall, and it says, we have to be as brave as the people who need us.
So good.
And it is bravery, right? It's you marching into territory that you don't know. And the safe person, they'll just stick to what they know. Whether they love it or not, whether it's impacting or not, whether it's making a difference or not, they'll just stick to what they know because anything new is too scary and they'd look stupid or whatever. And you got to risk looking stupid if you want to make a bigger impact and if you want to grow. And so I love those words. Those were amazing. Again, higdengroup.com/Kim Playbook. Kim Ward, you're amazing. I appreciate you. Drop her some love. We had a bunch of people thanking you for your information. Let's all go rock it over on Pinterest and impact some more people. And so thanks, Kim. Really appreciate you being on here. Bye, guys. Appreciate you. Feel free to share this. What if you had your entire organization or your sales team all started this? They just turned on their Instagram to Pinterest, and 90 days from now, all of a sudden, you have hundreds more people on Pinterest generating new leads. That would be pretty amazing. So highly encourage you to do that, and appreciate you guys so much. Thanks for showing up. God bless you guys. God bless your families, and we'll both talk to you soon. Bye, guys.